Hi guys, this is Rahul here from myview.rahulnavy.net, which is my blog. Here in this screencast, I'm going to talk about more about Angular 2, of course, but the fact is, it's like from the beginning. So what I was trying to do in the from some time is actually I was trying to migrate my RC1 version to RC5, and it was kind of a pretty mess because RC1 version to RC5 there has been so many changes. So I thought rather than investing time around to um, fix that RC1 to RC5 to make it compliant with RC5. I thought it would be nice to write it from the scratch and just show you the stuff which has been changed. So this is the one which I have set up here in RC5. I'll be shortly moving it on the Git as well so that you guys can download that. Now the basic fact over here is which I flip over here in the documentation. So this documentation around angular.io site has been recently upgraded for RC5 version. So what they say is like, so if you remember my earlier screencast where I was explaining all this, how to get started with Angular 2, I guess here in that video I have already discussed all the basic steps required to set up that, and these are the same things. So like installing Node.js and creating app folder and all root component and all main.ts. So these are the same thing which we have already done. So I'm just going to emphasize where we are going to make changes and which has changed in RC5 version. So the very first fact is they are emphasizing, they are just telling to verify this guy whether are you on the correct node version or npm version, because this is the primary thing which you need to verify to pull up all the right dependencies for RC5 version. So this is the thing. So either you can run this in that here in that command window itself, or I would rather prefer to run in the editor itself. So when I say, so this is the integrated terminal which you can see here, like command.exe, same thing, it's getting running in that terminal itself. So node minus v, it will give you that currently running version of that node. And if I say npm minus v, so this is also correct. So 3.9.2 and 4.4.5, so which is as per 4.x.x and 3.x.x. So this is correct. So this has been then. Now the other things, let me explain here. So what I have done is like, all right. So in order to get started with that, obviously you need to set up Angular 2 stuffs in your Visual Studio Code. So these four factors remain same, like which we have done earlier, which we have seen earlier in the videos, right? So these factors, we need to first create this package.json, tsconfig.json, typings.json, and systems.js.config.js file. So these are the files which you will be creating first. Let me show you that package.json and system.js, tsconfig, and typing. So these are the files which I am showing in that left panel are the first one which is being created, right? So once you create that thing, right, so what you need to do here is just do npm install. So what this npm install does is basically pulls all the required repositories, and it will create node modules folder over here. So let me, this is the node modules folder which you can see here, right? So this guy gets created. So here in editor you can see here, so all these dependencies whatever is mentioned here in that package.json, right? So it has pulled up. So as you can see here that everything is updated version, like everything is of RC5, and router is also the latest one. Now I'm hoping that on the top of that, they are not going to change that many tidbits around router or in any other components like Angular module or any other stuff, right? So these are the stuffs which is being fetched via npm install. This created and node modules and just downloaded all the dependencies. So if everything goes well, so you will just see the tree structure at the end of that, what they are saying here. So they are just saying that you should not see any npm warn or npm error kind of stuff at the end of that npm install. So there will be a tree kind of a structure which makes sure like okay, this thing has been installed correctly. So this is done, and these are the few command which they are insisting upon. So npm starts just runs the compiler and the server at the same time, both in watch mode. So you will be seeing all these things, what is happening and how it is serving the page. And these are the few different stuffs like and their description. If you just want to run the compiler in watch mode, then what needs to be done. So and if you just want to run the typings, and there is one stuff around typing. So when you do npm install, right, and if it doesn't produces this typings folder which you are seeing on the left side, right, then you need to exclusively pull this guy saying that npm run typings install. I didn't face this problem, so I guess I mean, it depends on various factors whether you guys are on upgraded NPM version or you guys are upgraded on Node version, maybe also on editor version as well, right? So if it doesn't happens, it didn't get pulled up in the first request, then you can exclusively request for that. These typings are required to translate all the things, whatever we are compiling, right, to understand that metadata for that. That's the one thing. And now let's jump back to the app thing. So next thing what you'll be doing, obviously you'll be creating this app folder. So this is the app folder, right? And the very first thing which gets us started from here is like so here it says like we created app folder and then app component.ts, which is the this one. So where is this is my app component.ts angular core. And we have just implemented like my app is the selector, which is nothing but in that index.html page. I will show you in some time. And this template basically which is emitting h1 tag saying my first angular 2 app. So this is the very first file which you will be creating. Of course there is after that you will be creating that app modules. Now this is the thing which is something different. Here we used to in ng1 we didn't have that ng module exclusively, sorry, in rc1. So now this is everything is modularized. Now you will be downloading everything. It's like bundles, so you'll be downloading everything as per ng module. Now this ng module is doing decorator stuff, and it is just putting everything which is required in that arrays, right, which you can see here, like all the declarations, bootstrap, which is required to boot this app, right? So this all app component, right? So this is the now this app component is nothing like which is getting pulled from that my um, this guy app component.ts, right? So this is the class here it will be available, right? So this is the primary class where it will be available all these libraries which is getting pulled from my app module.ts. So app module ts is something which is pulling all the required modules, like you will be in future needing that router module, service module, or different kinds of modules. So you'll be pulling all those dependencies here in that ng module itself, and this will be available via this exported class in app module, which is going to be in app component.ts, right? So like here, so it will be available that ways. Now that's the one thing. Now this is done, and now let me jump over to that. There is one more file that is main.ts. Now it depends, like main.ts is also pretty much the same. Only thing is like we are importing this of course platform browser dynamic and app model which we have created, that class here in that app component.ts, which is this one. Like sorry, I was in main.ts, right? So app.module.ts. So this is the thing. So main.ts is going to, so the very first thing which is going to bootstrap is the app is going to look for this main is going to request for this app module, which is nothing there in my app module.ts file, which is having all the dependent modules which is required, right, which is this one. Now this guy is going to wire up the things. Now the thing is, like, when it goes to my component file, right, which is this one, right, so this is the thing which is going to wire up everything and which is going to emit everything. So here is the selector, which is my app, and in that index file which you see here, this is the index file, right. Now this is the my app. Now here it is emitting my stuff, like whatever is the selector, my app is there in that decorator. It is going to replace that, um, so they replace that content in between this tag. So that's the thing. Stories around this polyfills and other JavaScript remains the same. It's a kind of emitting that metadata and all, ES5, ECMAScript 5 compiler stuffs to just transpile that, and produce that in that our compatible browser. So that's the thing. Now system import is obviously importing that app model, which is that, here. So it is going to hit that main. So by default it will consider that main. If we have any other folders which we know, which we have seen earlier, like when we are creating other folders around, different folders inside that app, then we are used to provide that complete path. So that's okay. So when you build this, so what you can do here is like, either you can just, what I was telling is, you utilize this commands, right, so just compile, or you can just say like npm start, so it will serve the page. So here is the stuff. When I do npm start, so this is running now, and it is going to produce me this. So this is the intended output for this particular exercise. I hope you have liked this. In the coming screencast, we'll delve further around this RC5 module now, and I'll try to cover uh, stubs which have been changed from the previous screencast. Thanks for joining me. Happy coding.